one thing we did when we were younger, I lived in Boulder City, is we like to go fishing down at the river. And the only way we knew to go to the river was to go to Lake Mojave and get in a boat and drive up back to the bottom of the dam. But we'd heard tell that there was a way to hike down the river uh, from Boulder City, like across, go down the rifle range and down that way. And we explored over there, and we heard people say it. And finally, uh, we went as a group of scouts and figured out a way. There's this one place where we let ourselves down with the rope a little bit. It really wasn't that bad. And so Ken and I figured out how to get down there. And so then Dad was interested, and we decided to make a family trip of it. And we were going on a Friday afternoon, coming back on Saturday. And it was spring or fall, I don't know. So really didn't need much equipment to sleep or anything, just a little light sleeping bag or a blanket or something, some food. So we were going to drive out a little bit past the rifle range, and we didn't want to leave the van out there overnight because people went out there all the time and stuff. So what we decided to do was I'd take my bicycle, put it in the van, and I think Mom gave us a ride out there. And then we took my bicycle and put it behind some rocks. And she drove the van back to the house. And we hiked down there, and it was a pretty good hike. We had water bottles and stuff, and we didn't get lost. It took 4 hours to get down there. And we played in the water and tried to fish a little. And I don't think anybody caught any fish. We had a good time. It was, I think it was Beth, Brenda, and Annalie, 2 or 3 girls, and Dad and Ken and I. So anyway, Ken and I, of course, got there way before the girls and Dad. Dad had to stay back with the girls. And then we hiked back to where they were and showed them the way and stuff. Then coming back, the first part of the trip is this big, steep hill. And so we went down, and coming back, I had to climb up it. And it was kind of warm, so I don't know. It was warm. It probably got to be close to 100 degrees in the afternoon when we were coming back. And Ken and I, of course, we had our canteens and stuff, and we drank the water, but the girls had drank all their water, so we gave the rest of our water to them. Then we went hiking up and hiked all the way up to the top up there where I hid my bicycle, and Ken says, "I'll just wait over here in this shade of these rocks." And so I got on my bicycle and rode. You know, in a car, to go to the rifle range is pretty short. And on a bicycle, when you're kind of thirsty, it's a little bit longer. And I was about halfway to town, and I started looking for a round pebble to put in my mouth like the Indians used to do. Well, you know, that was all pretty dusty and dirty looking. Couldn't find anyone that was like a pebble, like from a creek or anything. So got into town a little bit past the cemetery there, and there's some fairly new streets, and there was water running in the gutters. And I just about got off the bicycle and laid down and licked the water out of the gutter. I was pretty thirsty. My mouth was really dry. But I was almost to Layton's Market, so I stopped at Layton's Market and went in and got a bottle of Fresca with pineapple drink. And usually I quite enjoyed Fresca. I drank the whole bottle and didn't taste it. I just drank it glug, 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 glug. Usually, you have to stop it. Burns your mouth and everything else. I just drank it down and never tasted a thing. So, and Layton's Market was only 2 blocks from our house. So I drove down the 2 blocks, went into the house and parked my bike out in the carport and went inside. And Mom said, "Hey, how you doing?" I didn't talk to her. I went right to the sink, turned the water on full, and put my head under the sink so I was right underneath it and just drank and drank and drank and drank. Man, I thought I was going to die. But then after I had my drink, I think she understood what my problem was. And so then I got in the car and drove back out there. I don't know why I had my bike when I was 16. I had it quite a while. It was a bike I'd made. But Dad finally talked me into giving it to my cousins, Uncle Keith's boys, so because they didn't have a bicycle and it was fixed up, so they took it to Santa Clara. I think it was stolen the second or third day in Santa Clara. That's how good of a bike it was. It was a 20-incher that they'd fixed up. But anyway, I drove the van back out there, and I got back there still before the girls and Dad had got clicked to the top of that big steep place. But Ken was there, so it was a pretty nice outing.
You told me before that it was like a sign of your manhood. You and Ken thought if you didn't drink water.
That's right. Real men didn't need to drink water. That was a thing. A lot of my life when we'd go on scout camps and all that, and only the wussies had to drink out of the canteen. We'd go as long as we could without drinking. And I learned that you could drink a lot when you weren't thirsty, and then it took a long time before you got thirsty. You fill up your water table in your body ahead of time, and that works. Although you didn't do that when you're coming out of there. And then after that, in my life, I started getting kidney stones, and it was because I didn't drink enough water. So then I learned to drink extra water.